Welcome back to Grumpy Vet Garage. I'm the Grumpy Vet Dino, and today we're back on the Supra. I'm wanting to get a baseline of the performance of the car and also a direction on where I'm planning on going with the car. So I already have my Eclipse, and it's not exactly the best road daily driver, and I want to keep the comfortability of the Supra intact. So I don't want to go the route of a true track car, something that would be more track than street. I want it to be a very streetable car. And the power goals I have in mind are somewhere between 500 and 600 horsepower. The way I came up with those plans somewhat relates to the situation where I am with a 2021 Supra that has a locked ECU. My tuning options are rather limited. I know that Fem2 can do a process of unlocking, and I know that Ecutech is talking about a process where they would be able to unlock and do something stateside. I think I'm too early to get into that, and I'm wanting to do some more supporting mods that very well may open up some performance of the car. So I want to go that route. But what I don't want to do is just install those parts and not be able to quantify to you whether or not that part is going to give you that bang for the buck that in many cases the manufacturer of those parts say they do. We all have seen air intake companies that say you install this and you get 20 horsepower, or an exhaust company or a downpipe company that says install this and you get 20 horsepower. And in your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to spend this money and I'm going to pick up 20 horsepower with this mod, another 20 horsepower with that mod. And I kind of want to see whether or not that truly is the case. I believe that those mods, even if they don't pick up power right away, are going to be beneficial to the long run of that street 600 horsepower car. But in the immediate, it might not pick up the amount of power that we think it might. So already did a couple, well, one really preventative maintenance on the vehicle. I went ahead and placed in a catch can. I got a forged catch can that I placed in there. But I haven't done anything performance oriented to open up anything in the car. Still running stock airbox, of course, stock turbo. The exhaust has not been touched. I still have the factory catalytic converter. Nothing's been changed over with the charge pipe. Definitely nothing with tuning. It's running a factory tune. So let's go ahead and take her out and see what kind of performance we get from the vehicle in stock form.
I've shuffled through. Yeah. And if I'm in the front, if I'm on the
Welcome back. The run with the car went pretty much how I expected it would go. Kind of want to go over the times with you real quick. The 60-foot time ended up being 2.02 seconds. The 0 to 60 ended up being 4.33 seconds. And the 8th mile ended up being 8.04 seconds at 90 miles an hour. Those numbers all line up with what I'm hearing is a pretty standard stock Supra number. I know that it's advertised as it runs a 3.9 0 to 60, and with the right conditions on the right track, it probably would. I got permission to use a farm road locally to do my runs, but that run of a quarter mile is a bit too far for the small road next to the farm. So I'm doing 8th mile. 8th mile is going to be about as far as I'm going to go until hopefully getting into bigger power levels, and then we'll transition to a track and maybe a prepped. But I think this is a good baseline to kind of give you a difference between using launch control and not using launch control. With VSC on, traction control on, I loaded up the drivetrain by holding brake and just kind of loaded it up. That 0 to 60 was 4.55 seconds, and then using launch control with VSC off, traction control off, it definitely launched harder and took off 0.2 of a second, so 4.33 seconds. It's a good starting point, but I want to use this as the baseline to reference off anything else we do to the vehicle to see how we're progressing. Also to hopefully enlighten you on how things would work, how a certain part would progress the Supra. I know before we went out, I talked about why I chose the 500 to 600 window. Also, that's under the torque limits that are set for the factory transmission. I think down the road, I would love to get a built trans, but I don't want to do anything for a street car that's going to overwhelm what the factory ZF transmission is able to handle. Maybe a trans tune could be something that would help out with that too. That's something that even though the 2021 and up Supras have a locked ECU, you can still flash trans tune. I didn't know that, but shout out to I think it was Kern 417 who turned around and showed that, and a couple other people have done it too, where they flash tuned the transmission tune. So it sounds like something that might be beneficial, but I want to try to quantify all those things. So next is probably going to be intake related. Engines are air pumps, need to get air in and get air out. So probably going to start with intake. Not too sure if it's going to be intake or intake and a charge pipe. Maybe them separately or maybe them together. But yeah, that's the baseline. That's where we're starting from to build this 600 horsepower street car. If you like my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I hope you would subscribe so you can get more Supra content, hopefully some Eclipse content coming up soon. Also, I started doing beer reviews. If you've seen that in my channel, I really enjoy a beer. So I've been reviewing them, seeing what other beers are out there available. But again, if you like this, I would hope you would subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like on this video and then comment. If you thought my numbers were bad or you have something different, I'd like to hear it. I know that the 4.33 second 0 to 60 is a pretty standard 0 to 60 for an unprepped surface. But if you have any upgrade path ideas too, I'm new to the platform, so I'm willing to soak up any information that you want to provide me. So thank you for coming and hanging out with me in my garage, and until next time, see you.